Hey, what is going on, guys? Talk Norwich City here, back for a Norwich City daily news video. I hope you guys are all doing fantastically well. First of all, I want to thank you for 11,000 subscribers. We surpassed it yesterday. We had a mad influx of subscribers over Sunday and yesterday's, which is really, really awesome. So a massive thank you for 11,000 subscribers. Let's try and get to 12,000 as quick as possible. If you haven't already subscribed, hit subscribe. It means a lot to me. Anyway, today we're back to react to the Stuart Webber and also Steve Stone interviews. Of course, Stuart Webber, our new director of football, and Steve Stone, our head of finance, basically. They've come out today to all of the local media, not myself, but all of the local media, and talk to them and basically give the rundown of what the club looks like, what the club's going to look like moving forwards, and what we're going to be doing over the summer. Now, a lot of questions have been asked from Norwich City fans because we all know that it's going to be a massive rebuilding job over this summer. And I think both Steve Stone and Stuart Webber really addressed it quite well. Let's start with the head coach position. I think that's probably the main thing that Norwich City fans are talking about at the moment. And it's actually been fairly surprising with the lack of rumours that have been flying about. We saw sort of Uwe Rosler at the start, and he said he wasn't really interested at that point because he was still with Fleetwood Town. Since that point, Fleetwood Town lost in the playoff semi-final, so their season is over. We then had Gary Monk, who said that he's not going to be speaking to the Leeds kind of head guys until June, so he doesn't know what his future is. And Michael O'Neill, who was also linked, basically said that he's not interested at all, and he's managing Northern Ireland for his future. So that leaves us now with Uwe Rosler and Gary Monk. At least they're the two managers that have been linked with Norwich City. There could be a manager that's gone completely under the radar and that Stuart Webber's speaking to at this moment. Stuart Webber said that he's confident that there will be an appointment made in late May, which gives us, 2-3 weeks, and that they are speaking to people and that they're fairly certain that that appointment will be made. Now, he also said that the manager they're looking at is currently at a football club. So that means that Uwe Rosler and Gary Monk could be the ones. I would put my money on Uwe Rosler. I don't think a lot of people would be too happy with that, considering he's from Fleetwood, hardly really proven as a football manager. But he's been the man that has said that he's happy to work under a sporting director, a head of football, whatever you want to call it, Stuart Webber, and that he's confident in that model. So for the managers that have been linked, I would say it would be Uwe Rosler. So far, I don't know. There could be one that's gone under the radar, and I kind of hope that is the way that we've worked. He also touched on Alan Irvine's comments. Now, Alan Irvine said after the game on Sunday that he wasn't happy that a lot of staff at the football club still don't know where their futures lie. Stuart Webber said, well, I don't really agree with Alan there. We're very happy that Alan's come in, taken charge for 12 games, which is ridiculous, or 10 games, something like that, for an interim manager. Normally, an interim manager will be in charge for 2-3 games. Alan Irvine's been here for 2 months. And he said that all of the staff have been basically told pretty crystal clear what's going on. But of course, a lot of staff will still be up in the air until that head coach comes in. But if that head coach does come in late May, early June, that still does give staff time to kind of move on and stuff like that. Then the chat moved on to players. What players would be coming, what players would be going. The two main players that were brought up were Stephen Naismith and Mitchell Dykes, two kind of completely different players, circumstances really. He started off with Stephen Naismith and said that the rumours of him leaving on a free are complete nonsense, which I think we said on these news videos, didn't we, that he wouldn't be leaving on a free. It all kind of stems around the wages. Now, Stuart Webber said that he rates Stephen Naismith. He's a highly rated player and he's done fairly well at Norwich City this season. He didn't say that we have to sell him. He didn't say that we have to sell any players. And that's another rumour that's kind of been thrown about, that we have to sell players because our finances are so tight. That's nonsense. We don't have to sell players. But if we want to rebuild the squad, then yeah, of course, we do need to bring money in before we can spend it, because we haven't got millions of pounds sitting in the bank. But we don't have to sell players. That's the kind of stem of this conversation. I suppose the thing now with Stephen Naismith is, one, does he want to leave? And two, do we want to kind of get a different player in? Because obviously if we want to go out and get a top draw centre-back or another top draw striker, it would be very tough for us to do that if we've still got the likes of Stephen Naismith on the books on whatever wage he's on. Talk then moved on to Mitchell Dykes, and this was a really interesting one actually. I think that Mitchell Dykes is going to stay at this football club. I really do. I think he enjoys Norwich City. I think he enjoys the challenge. I think he's very well suited to the Championship. I don't think he's really going to get back into the Ajax squad, although they could be in the Champions League next season, so that's going to be a fairly enticing prospect for Mitchell Dykes. But Stuart Webber basically said that we have the option to buy him. It all goes down to if we can agree personal terms. Now, that's going to be fairly tough. I think, one, because he's going to be demanding fairly high wages, considering he's come from Ajax. I'm pretty sure he's on fairly high wages at the moment. And two, do we want to spend that kind of money on a left back? I mean, we've extended the loan, extended the contract of Harry Toffolo, which is promising. At least we do own us a left back now. It would be fantastic to have Mitchell Dykes in this squad, though, because I think he is a really powerful player in this division. I think Norwich City should be willing to throw a lot of money on the table. But then once again, if we want to go down this whole recruitment policy of going for League One players that are really wanting to prove themselves, or getting loan players in from the Premier League, that doesn't really suit that model of just chucking loads of money at a left back. So that's a tough situation. I think all fans would be over the moon if we did keep him, and that would certainly sort of lie down a statement of intent from Norwich City. But at the same time, there's a lot of work to be done. But at least we do have the option to buy Mitchell Dykes. We've got a bit of time on our hands there. And then I suppose he basically said that the way we ended the season shows that we are capable of doing the good things, and it is a huge positive. He kind of said that we're not starting here from just about surviving in this division. We've had a shocking season, yet we still finished 8th in this league. If we would have beaten Barnsley, Burton, Rotherham and Birmingham away from home, which are 4 games you should be expected to win, we would have finished 4th this season. That shows just kind of how good it could have been, because our home form was fairly good. In terms of Steve Stone, he was a true sort of financial man. The good thing about Steve Stone and Stuart Webber is, I think for the first time in a long while, we've got the foundations built here in terms of personnel to really kick on. I fully trust Stuart Webber. I think he's very switched on. I think he's a good person to have at the football club. And the same with Steve Stone. Steve Stone was very clear that he wants to improve communication lines between the club and the fans. I think that's a massive, massive positive, because that does need to happen. I think communication, certainly under Moxie and the McNally, was awful, to put it bluntly. And I think Steve Stone and Stuart Webber have already improved on that, doing this end of season interview. They didn't have to do this, but they've done it. I've seen Steve Stone talking to loads of fans outside the ground. I know that Steve Stone has organised fan forums for people to go and meet him and talk to him, and for him to try and answer their questions, which can only be positive, which is really good. Steve Stone basically touched on the parachute payments. He said that we're going to be roughly £12 million worse off next season because parachute payments drop, but we're still in a financial position to compete in terms of going up next season. So it's all positive, really. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts, I suppose, on Mitchell Dykes, Stephen Naismith, the new head coach. And are you confident with Steve Stone and Stuart Webber here? It's going to be a busy summer for Norwich City, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let me know your thoughts on them. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit like, and a massive thank you for watching. Peace out.